I'm happy to be joined here once again by Lauren Rodych Eberle on Primetime Local News. Lauren, it's been a while since we spoke last, but thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And first of all, I want to say congratulations, because since we spoke last, you've given birth to a beautiful baby girl, Collins, and I've seen some of your Instagram posts. She looks like just a little sweetheart.
Thank you. She is so much fun.
Well, and one of the reasons we are going to chat with you today and through the month of January is we're going to be talking to you about some different parenting tips and different lifestyle things that you're discovering as a new mom. And the first one I want to talk about is Kids Who Explore. And we'll talk about the podcast part of things. Lauren, tell me a little bit about what that is and the concept of it.
Of course, yes. So I'm working with Kids Who Explore, which right now is a purely online-based company. And we work on connecting families, adventure families really, from all over the world and try to motivate people to get outside and explore with their kids. So starting in February, we're launching a podcast, which is called Kids Who Explore Mama's Edition. And it will be hosted by myself as well as Adriana and Cindy, and we will have some episodes just with us, and we'll be talking about our own experiences and our own tips and tricks, but we'll also have a lot of interviews of families, like I said, from all over the world, sharing their tips and tricks and experiences too.
Well, and I see on a lot of your Instagram posts, Lauren, you're constantly out with Collins, and even if it's just for walks. Why is it important, especially even at a young age, to get kids out and take them with you, as sometimes as difficult as it may be depending on where you're going?
That's what we've been talking about a lot lately, because with Kids Who Explore, we're doing a January challenge of getting outside every day. And I think it's important for everyone. It's sometimes hard, like you said, to get bundled up and make sure everyone's out the door and fed and diaper changes or bathroom breaks. But it's good for everyone's health to burn that energy, and the fresh air is good for mamas, good for all parents and adults, but especially good for kids. And it's such a good way for them to explore the world, which is a little bit different than being at home and having to kind of keep them away from screens and those kind of things.
Now, Lauren, you are into hiking. I see a lot of the times that you're posting going on hikes and to very high altitudes and challenging terrain. What are kind of the limitations that you have to face when hiking, especially with a little one? I know I see you taking Collins and you've got her in the little, pouch, and she looks like she's just happy, but obviously you can't be taking, longer extended hikes when they're this young. So how do you combine and how do you find that balance when dealing with a younger child?
Yes, my exploration has totally changed since having her, but it's so much fun, and I say it's gotten even better. Before, it used to be some crazy hikes and we'd be summiting mountains and doing really hard trails, but now I kind of try and limit them to terrain that is a little easier, especially because if she is on my front, I want to make sure I can see my footing in front of me. And then also just so that we're not out for too long, because I kind of try and keep it between 2 to 3 hours max so that she can get some rest and get a diaper change and have a feeding.
And what about, you are in a climate that's colder and has the snow, but there are some people that, for a benefit, I guess, get to live in the tropical areas and places like California and Florida. How do you differentiate when you're taking kids out? Because obviously a little different when you take kids out in cold weather as compared to warm weather, or even if you're on a vacation with them. So what are some tips that people should remember, I guess, for both temperatures?
Right. For the cold, we've been talking a lot about watching how cold the temperature is, because it depends how young the kid is for sure too. But you kind of don't want to go out if everyone's different. We've had lots of different answers, but we're kind of starting to pick around minus 15 degrees Celsius in order to go out. But that being said, you can definitely go colder if you're really bundled up and you're wearing a lot of wool. So layers, layers, layers is super important for winter. And for summer or tropical destinations, you might want to get out earlier when it's not quite as hot or the sun's not at its highest. And then obviously sunscreen is a really important one.
Well, Lauren, if anybody would like more information on Kids Who Explore, or if they want to listen to the podcast, how do they get the information and find all these little tips and tricks that you guys are talking about?
So right now, the best place to find us is on Instagram, which is just Kids Who Explore. And we're sharing all our information there. We have a lot of new stuff coming this year, including an ambassador program, but we will have a website soon. So just check us out on Instagram. That would be great. And then for our podcast, we should have a trailer up soon so that you can subscribe. But by February, we'll have our first episode, and you can subscribe on any podcast app. So Apple or Podbean or any of those.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining with us today, Lauren, and good luck. And I'm sure it's going to be of a benefit to Collins for sure to keep exploring the way that you do. And we love seeing your photos. So I guess if people want to follow you as well, what's the best way to reach you on Instagram?
Yeah, they can follow me at Lauren Rodych Eberle. You can check the spelling on here if you want. So on Instagram, it's Lauren Rodych Eberle. And then I also have a website, laurenrodycheberle.com, which links you to all of my different explorations and different businesses.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today, Lauren. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.